Hello everybody, welcome again to Michigan Trails Report. I'm your host, Tom Funk. Thanks for joining us today. As you're probably well aware now, if you've been listening for a while, as I am the author of 50 Hikes in Michigan's Upper Peninsula and 50 Hikes on the North Country Trail. I also like to chime in once in a while on your various Facebook hiking group pages. I love talking trails, and I love talking trails with you. Our sponsor, Gateway to Pictured Rocks Lodge, up in Germfast in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, centrally located in the eastern half of the Upper Peninsula, located less than an hour from either end of Pictured Rocks. Please consider them for your next Upper Peninsula adventure. Take out your finger and find a dusty glass, maybe in your house or a mirror in your bathroom, and write this down, vrbo.com 980761. All right, well, let's get this party started here. Thanks for joining me again, and welcome back. All right, Trail of the Week. Last week I highlighted a trail in Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore, which is a unit of our national park system. So how about a trail in a national forest? Let's go to Sylvania Wilderness in the Ottawa National Forest, and Sylvania Wilderness is part of the Ottawa, as I just mentioned, and the Clark Lake Loop. And this is in the far western end of the Upper Peninsula. This trail, although unmarked, it is easy to follow. And you can park at the developed boat launch and campground on the north end and hike clockwise around the lake. It's about 7.5 miles. And you'll walk amongst some very large and towering trees like white and red pine and hemlock, and even a massive balsam poplar tree here and there. There are several spur trails, and they are used as portages, and that will take you to some of the other lakes in the area. And although Sylvania is popular with canoers due to all the lakes and portage routes, it is probably underutilized by hikers and backpackers. So check it out. You do need to have a permit, and as of 2020, you must use recreation.gov to reserve one of the 50 backcountry sites. So no more walk-up permits anymore at Sylvania. So please check it out. All right, time for the snow report and trail report in general. Trail conditions out there. Let's start with, again, the snow report, I guess. Seems that the weather still cannot make up its mind. It snows, it melts, it snows, it melts some more. And currently in the Upper Peninsula, there's still plenty of snow. And the upcoming 10-day forecast, which we'll mention in a bit, shows it will stick around. Again, south of Marquette towards Escanaba, the snow gets progressively thinner. But overall, if you need snow, you need to go to the Upper Peninsula. For snowmobile trails, I found a great website that's been around for a while. And those of you who like the snowmobile, it is called misorva.org. And I'll have a link on the Facebook page. Michigan Snowmobile and ORV Association. And it has an awesome directory of trail reports from all the snowmobile clubs. So I follow a whole mess of pages on Facebook for these various snowmobile clubs. It's kind of hard to keep track of. You can make one stop at this website. And there are reports from the groomers and information on trail closures. So if you like snowmobiling, please check it out. Let's see, a North Country Trail update. Still, they're saying no potable water at Miners Castle until further notice, and there were no new trail notices on the North Country Trail page. So at work, we got to talking about cappuccino the other day. A coworker who loves cappuccino and doesn't really like the offerings where I work, bought this beastly machine to put in her office and make her favorite cup of joe. Then I told her about a backpacker's espresso maker. And for $40, I told her, you can get this cool little espresso maker. It's dishwasher safe, But the the downside, I guess, is for those of us, not on the run from the federales, is that you need a way to heat up this little maker. And in an open office setting, I think that an open flame isn't such a good idea. I thought it was cool to talk about. But anyway, I'll put a link on the Facebook page so you can check it out. It is made by GSI. And like I said, it is about $40. So if you like your espresso, you can bring a little machine with you. Let's see. Don't do this. Hey, I ventured over to the Trek and found an article called 15 Mistakes Beginning Backpackers Make. And besides the obvious of overpacking or not drinking enough water or even worse, wearing cotton, I found one in particular quite interesting in that I hound on this one all the time. And that is excessively complex recipes, which results in loss of time and extra weight. I've seen folks bring cast iron, cans upon cans of beans, boxed wine. I've seen them bring eggs in the shell, and even liquid milk, not powdered, liquid milk. That's a lot of weight, folks. This stuff takes up space, weight, and what folks find out the hard way is it takes time to prepare this stuff. And although I love a great eggplant with caper nuts sprinkled with basil served with ground pork, it's better served where I have a napkin on my lap and I'm wearing a tie versus being covered in grime, sweat, and all I want to do is get something into my gut. I'm all about 3 ingredients, and one of them is water. Those freeze-dried meals, yeah. Powdered hummus and powdered milk, you bet. Big time weight, space, and time savers. I'll heat a 16-ounce cup of water in the morning, and pour a small portion on my oatmeal, and the rest goes to coffee. I do not cook at lunch at all, but eat brick cheese, meat and jerky, and trail mix. Dinner is always a Mountain House or similar. And dessert, yes, I bring dessert. It's typically a protein bar, sometimes 2. And what I'll do is I'll get to camp. I'll eat one right when I get to camp. And then after I eat, I'll have one before I go to bed. And while your eggplant salad is still being prepared, I'm long tucked in my sleeping bag. And something to consider is keep it simple, folks, when you're doing meals on the trail. And I posted this article on the Facebook page. All right. North Country Trail 100 patch earners. I see plenty of folks working on their North Country Trail 100 mile badge, but no one yet I've seen from Michigan who's hit their 100 miles. And when I see one, you bet I'll let you know, and I'll post it as well on the Facebook page. So keep hiking, folks, and keep earning those miles. All right, this week in Michigan's Facebook hiking pages, it's getting towards the end of winter, so I'm seeing some of these events are starting to tail off, and then I'm sure we'll see some after the snow melts and the trails dry out. So, go on over to the Substack. You can see the list there, but I'll mention some of them here. Michigan Hiking and Backpacking has a hike on Saturday, February 11th. And it's in the morning at Wakely Lake Loop, which is up north. It's a nice hike. I've done it. West Michigan Hiking and Backpacking has a May Wolf Country backpacking trip. Check that out. Ice climbing adventure is still taking place Sunday, February 19th. That is put on by the Northern Michigan Hiking and Backpacking. I believe that's taking place out of Marquette. And let's see, February 11th is a Spear of the Woods February hike. Let's see, Grand Traverse County. Well, they just had their monthly hike. They're going to have one in March. I'll mention that one maybe in a couple of weeks. Hiawatha Shore to Shore chapter. This is the chapter in the Eastern UP that has a ton of events. Saturday, February 11th at I believe it's the Tequamanon Falls State Park. It's falling in love with winter hiking. So bring your snowshoes. I'll bet you they still have plenty of snow over there. I was also looking at the Trail Angels page. Did not see any requests there at all. Classes and workshops. This February 8th, 8 p.m., West Michigan Hiking and Backpacking page. Go over there, and they're going to have an online and free program called Don't Get Ticked. And it sounds like it's going to be about those little friends we like so much, the tick. And a new one I saw pop up recently is Uber hiker Gail Lowe, who is the first quadruple bagger, Pacific Crest, Continental Divide, Appalachian Trail, and North Country Trail. She's done them all. She is putting on a long-distance backpacking class, and it's actually 3 separate days, March 16th, 23rd, and 30th. I've known her for years. Kind of a cool story how we met. I was in the Upper Peninsula in early June driving around doing Kirtland warbler surveys, and I was between Deer Park and Grand Marais. And on the side of the road was Gail holding a bandana that said, "Hiker needs assistance." So I pulled over, got out, and the bugs were atrocious, and she had a reservation for lodging in Grand Marais and was running late. And since I was done for the day doing my surveys, I took off my Audubon hat, and I put on my outfitter hat and took her into town. The next morning, I picked her up bright and early and dropped her off right where I found her at H58. Several years later, and this is so cool, you guys, she moves to Hastings, where I live. And what are the odds of that happening? She could live anywhere. And she chose Hastings. She is one cool cat, and if you aspire to knock off any of these long-distance trails, she is someone you may want to get to know. Information on the Facebook page. There is a fee. And it's every penny. It's worth every penny. I'm telling you, Gail is someone you want to get to know, and she is a fountain of information. Speaking of Audubon, Michigan Audubon is hiring a conservation manager. My old job is available. Woohoo! If you like trails, wildlife management, go to Michigan Audubon's website and check out this opportunity. I did this job for 7 years and left it to pursue my outfitting full time. Highly recommend it. Wonderful organization, and it was a great gig. Moving into events. Hey, look at this. Less than a month to Outdoorama. You can buy your tickets online now at a discount. They still haven't, well, no, they have. They posted their exhibitors and headline presentations on the website. And let's see, the Quiet Adventure Symposium is less than a month away. Woohoo! I've been talking about this for a while, haven't I? So, let's see. You can buy tickets online now, $15 in advance. And do that now, get it underway, because it's going to go to $20 a person here in a little while. And many of our North Country Trail chapters and national office will be there representing. I did not see seminars or exhibits posted yet, but they have posted some of the speakers. And Jim Dufresne is slated to be there. You know, the guy that writes all the books on hiking here in Michigan and makes all the maps. So if you go, make sure to tell him I sent you. Canoecopia, if you don't get enough of canoeing at the Quiet Adventures, go to Madison, Wisconsin, March 10th and 12th. And you can buy online tickets now as well. $13 for one day, $26 for all 3 days. Buy them now and save. Presentation schedule has not been posted yet, but it's going to be released any day now. And I'll scan through it and make some recommendations. So, yeah, plenty to do here in Michigan coming up with all these events before spring rolls around. So check those out. And it's time for the reservation reports. Pictured Rocks. Reservations are now open. Saturday of Memorial Day weekend. Last week there were 16 sites left. This week there's only 12 of the 63 for Saturday. And once those are gone, you will not be able to pull a permit. And Independence weekend, last week there was 34 available on the Sunday, 2nd of July. Now there's 32. And after Independence Day weekend, there's still plenty of availability at Pictured Rocks. So, as expected, those holiday weekends are pretty popular. Hurricane Campground, Saturday, Memorial Day weekend, booked solid. June, you can make 2 to 4 days work during the week, but weekends are mostly booked. And frankly, there just isn't much left in June. And after the 24th of June, it is booked solid up until you can make that reservation 6 months from today's date. Pro tip, Reservations open up at 10 a.m. and it's best you hover over your computer and get your clicking finger, exercise it, and get it ready. Because I'm reading people online, they're like trying to get their campsites and they haven't been able to. They're not quick enough on the trigger. 12 Mile Beach. Most sites can be reserved up to 6 months in advance as well. There are a few sites that you can reserve 2 to 4 weeks in advance, and that's also the case with Hurricane. You can string together 3 days up until June 1st. After that, there is a day here, a day there. It's essentially booked solid until the 6-month out date when you can make a reservation. So, yeah, very popular campgrounds. Good luck. Good luck. All right, Grand Island, reserve up to 6 months in advance as well. So that means right now through Memorial Day and into August, keep in mind campsites open on the Friday of Memorial Day weekend. Lots of availability. The only one I saw that became unavailable for Memorial Day weekend since last week was Bermuda. There are a bunch of sites that are first come, first served because there is a prescribed burn going on. Check out the Substack and you'll see the complete list there. I'm basically going to kind of wait to see if there's going to be any changes because a whole bunch of these sites are first come, first serve. And I have a feeling that they're going to go to, most of them are going to go to reservation only. So, and keep in mind, once Pictured Rocks fills, people spill over into Grand Island. So, I expect Grand Island to fill up for Memorial Day weekend. So, if you want to go to Pictured Rocks, go to Grand Island. There's still availability. Bay Furnace Campground opens May 15th. Memorial Day weekend, plenty of availability. After the 23rd of June, there's limited availability. After July 25th, it goes to total crap. Nothing, not a site available. However, there are 20 walk-up non-reservable sites available. So get there early. Like not 11 a.m. early, but 7 a.m. early. Find a site where the occupants are leaving. Stock the site, occupy it as soon as you can. And all the above is on recreation.gov website or app. And the app wasn't working for me again today, so I had to go onto the website. State Park Campgrounds, Michigan, or midnrreservations.com. Checked out another state park, Sheboygan State Park. It's full. So, if you're making, for Memorial Day weekend, I should say, it is full for Memorial Day weekend. So if you're making plans, you better start looking around because these campgrounds are going to continue to fill. Backcountry camping sites are open for registration through May and into August now, 6 months out. Porcupine Mountains, still a ton of availability through the summer, including Memorial Day weekend. Same with Craig Lake. Plenty of availability. I'm kind of surprised these aren't filling up as fast as I thought they were, but I'm sure at some point they'll start filling up. I'll keep you posted. And again, Chiquamana Falls State Park, call them about making backcountry campsite reservations. Over at Isle Royal Queen has some full dates. Outbound dates, June 3rd, 12th, and 19th are full, no availability left. And an inbound date, and when I say outbound, I'm saying Copper Harbor to Rock Harbor. Inbound or return, I guess, June 3rd is also full, so they're starting to fill up. So you'll want to get on that. isleroyal.com is their website. You can see all the dates and availability right there on the website. It's pretty cool. Let's see. I believe the Ranger 3 still has a lot of availability. And keep in mind, May 26th is when the housekeeping cabins opens up, and June 8th is when the trading post goes full time. The lodge opens, the tours start, and food service on Isle Royal. All right, time for your weather forecast. Marquette, temps just above and below freezing. On and off snow during the week. The snow should stick around. Grand Rapids, I'm going to sigh again. I don't think I've had anything nice to say about the 10-day forecast in Grand Rapids this winter. But I will say this. It is great weather for running sap on your maple trees. Temps in the upper 30s and lows in the 20s. What snow is left may be gone in 10 days. It's just probably not going to stick around with these warm temperatures. So hey, while I have your attention, and you're listening to these cool jams from my friend Adam Main out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, click that follow button. If you don't, I'm going to track you down, and I'm going to steal your bootlaces while you're out on a backpacking trip. And the quote of the day, or the quote of the week, will relate back to that. You'll see in a minute. And let's see. You'll get the podcast the instant it is released if you are following versus waiting until I get around to sharing it on social media. Thanks again to our sponsor, Gateway to Pictured Rocks. Interested in sponsoring a show? Check out my Patreon account. Check out the podcast. It's under Tom's Trail Tales. I got all kinds of content there other than this weekly report. And the quote to end the show. What on earth would I do if 4 bears came into my camp? Why? I would die, of course. Literally shit myself lifeless. That's from Bill Bryson out of his book, A Walk in the Woods. Thanks for joining us. And be sure to follow us. Michigan Trails Report on Facebook. Tom's Travelogue on YouTube. And, of course, I will post this at my Substack, which is thomasfunk.substack.com. And you can find my books at michigantrailmaps.com. Thanks a lot, you guys. Get out on the trails, enjoy the snow, and we will see you next week.